So hello everyone, and very welcome to Yin Yoga to unwind the spine. We'll be looking at helping the mobility of our spine today, helping to keep it nice and mobile. I'm joined again by the yoga cats here, so hopefully they are going to behave themselves today. Of course they will. So we'll come to sit to start with. So feel free to sit as I am. It's sage style, possibly up onto a bolster or a couple of blocks. Or you can sit in a chair for the whole first part of the class if you'd like to, and just focus on the upper part of the body when I'm giving instructions. So coming to sit, how is comfortable for you? You'd like to be sitting with a nice long spine. Your shoulders are above your hips. If you're happy to, just let your eyes come to close. Maybe have a little bit of a snuggle down wherever you are. Feel your sit bones rooting into the bolster or the chair or the ground. The crown of your head gently lifting up towards the ceiling. Again, maybe with your eyes closed and just aware of your breath here. So simply breathing. You might notice if your breath comes easily or if it's slightly strained or difficult. When you're ready, you're going to open your eyes and on an inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands behind your head and then pushing away to the walls either side of you. Inhale, fingertips to your shoulders. And exhale, pushing forwards, rounding your back. We're going to inhale, reach the hands to the ceiling, looking up high. And exhale, fold forwards to whatever's comfortable for you. On your next inhale, we'll peel back up again, reach both hands up towards the sky. And exhale, push your hands away to the walls either side. Inhale, fingertips to your shoulder blades. And exhale, push forwards, chin towards your chest, your back rounds. Inhale, palms turn up, lift for the sky. And exhale, fold forwards again. We'll do a couple more. We're going to inhale, reach up for the sky. And exhale, push away to the walls. Inhale, fingertips to your shoulders. And exhale, push forwards, rounding your back. Inhale, palms up, lift for the sky. And exhale, fold all the way forwards. Our last one. Inhale, reaching up, lifting for the sky. Exhale, pushing away to the walls. Inhale, fingertips to your shoulders. Exhale, push forwards, rounding your back. Inhale, lift your hands to the sky. And exhale, fold forwards once more. And we're going to come into a child's pose now. So if you need to move any bolsters or blocks away, you can either have your knees together or your knees apart and let your arms rest wherever is comfortable. You might like to rest your head on something. If you were sitting in a chair, you could just come to fold forwards in the chair wherever is comfortable. And just let everything soften there. So we're definitely not in a rush today. There's no kind of rush, no kind of hurry. You might see if you can feel your breath maybe coming into the back of your body, the back of your ribs, the space between your shoulder blades. And when you're ready, we're just going to make our way onto hands and knees. We're going to start by moving our spine through its different directions. We'll start with the two most common ones, some cat-cow stretches. You're going to inhale, lift your heart, look forwards, and exhale, curl your spine up towards the ceiling. So you're inhaling to look forwards and up, and exhale, curl your spine towards the ceiling, so like a cat. We'll do a couple more of those. Try moving with your own breath, so it doesn't have to be the same pace as I'm going there. So these are two of the directions the spine can move. It's extending and it's flexing. So again, just keep going at your own pace. So the next two directions we're going to move the spine. You're going to look over your left shoulder and bring your hips towards your left, and then look over your right shoulder, bring your hips towards the right. So we're going to move between those two directions. And this way your spine is moving in a C shape. If you can imagine that, it's C curving one way and then the other. I'm just turning to face you here to see if I can make that a bit more obvious what I'm doing. It's not much more obvious, I'm afraid, but hopefully you get the idea. I'm trying to look over one shoulder and bring my bum towards that side so that I can see it each time. So the last two directions we're going to move in is to rotate the spine. You can bring your left elbow down, look over your right shoulder, then bring your right elbow down, look over your left shoulder. And again, we're just going to move between those two positions. Again, I'm just turning to face the front here for a moment to try and give you a better view of what's happening. So this is a lovely rotation of the spine. And they're the 6 directions that our spine is going to be moving in. It's going to be extending, flexing, moving laterally into its C curves, and then rotating. So just carry on with these gentle twists, just a couple more maybe. Sorry, and when you're finished, come to sit back on your heels, give your shoulders a little shrug. And we'll come straight into our first pose then. You might like to sit up on a block or just have it there handy. If you like, you can bring your legs straight out in front of you. Take your right leg and cross it over the other side of your left leg. And then you might find your left leg can tuck around, bringing your heel towards your bum. If that's not comfortable, leave the bottom leg out straight. You're going to wrap your left arm around your right knee. Your right hand can come to the ground behind you. And you're coming into a twist here. So I'm just setting the timer there on my watch. That's what I was doing. So this is the first of our yin poses today. And we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So I'm just going to give us a little spiel of what we're aiming for in this pose. So the first thing is to find our edge, our first point of resistance where we can feel a tug or a pull or a sensation. And we just pause there, kind of feeling into it, seeing how that feels today. So you're finding your edge. And then we're going to try and relax, especially in the target areas, which will be around your hips, around your spine, around your shoulders. And then we're looking for a stillness. So as much stillness as is available to you. So obviously if there's pain, always please do move out of it. But it's to try and avoid the little fidgets that we do, trying to be mindful of our movements. So we find our edge, we try to relax, and then we look for stillness. And we'll try that through all of our poses that we come through today. There's maybe just a few more breaths here in this first pose. And maybe just another couple of breaths. Sometimes 3 minutes is actually longer than I realize. We'll take another couple of breaths. Okay, turning your head back to center. Let your arms untwist back to center. Pause for a moment if you can. And then the next part is one thing we might try is to shoelace the legs. So if you can see, I've got my knees stacked one on top of each other now. I've slid that right leg out to the side so my feet pull apart from each other. If that's not available to you, just let the bottom leg come out straight so you're in a half shoelace. So either of those. Another option, like I'm doing there, is to just bring a block behind to sit on. It can be a block or a book, anything at all you have handy. You're going to reach your left arm out towards the side, then turn your palm towards the back and reach that hand up behind your back. So you're trying to reach up between your shoulder blades. Your right hand could then come to the ground and just let it creep away from you along the ground. And you're leaning over towards your right. You can let your right ear come towards your right shoulder. So that length now is all along the left side of your body. This is more of a C curve for the spine again. You can have your eyes open or your eyes closed. And see if you can check in with your breath here. Sometimes it's nice to just count the breath, counting 1 as you inhale and 2 as you exhale. And only ever counting up to about 10 if you ever get to 10, starting back from 1 again. If your mind wanders, and it will wander, so don't worry that it wanders, but just see if you can come back to your breath. The more and more curious we can be on that breath, the more attention that we can give it in the class helps us to really get into our practice. So gently come back up when you're ready. And we're going to stretch the hands away to the walls either side. And hopefully that feels lovely into your shoulder there. So to release a little bit, we're going to come to eagle arms. Your left arm coming underneath your right. If eagle arms doesn't work for you, you can come into just a hug, as I just showed a moment ago. If you can, though, we'll have eagle arms. So you can be in the hug or with the arms wrapped all the way around and come to fold forwards then. If it's possible, your elbows might come in front of your knees. If they don't, really don't worry. It's where your body is today. And actually one of the lovely things I think maybe about doing it at home is there's no one else there. So it's just you on your mat, which is how it always should be anyway, but sometimes we do get distracted. So we won't be too long here because I know it's quite intense there in eagle arms. So you're going to untangle your arms, bring your hands to the ground for a moment. Take a breath. And gently come back up again. And I know your legs are going to want to move. We'll see if we can pause for a moment. And then mindfully untangle your legs. Say thank you to them. We're going to come into a butterfly pose now. Again, it might be nice to sit up on a block or a rolled blanket or a book. Let the soles of your feet come together. Knees are going to come out wide. I'm just putting my feet onto a blanket because they were on the floor and they weren't very comfortable. So your knees are wide and they're just falling towards the ground wherever your knees happen to come to. And when you're ready, we're just going to come to round forwards again. See if you might let your head hang downwards. Your hands can rest on your feet or your shins. anywhere that's comfortable for them. And I'd just like to read a short meditation whilst you're here on happiness. So happiness is within reach. What we need to be happy is a question we often forget to ask ourselves. Is there something you could do for yourself that would make you happy, put a spring in your step, a smile in your heart? Many of us haven't asked ourselves this question enough. Some of us haven't asked it at all, or if we have, we haven't answered it. Instead, we diligently search for our path, for the way through our lives, through our current situation or circumstance, never taking the time to ask ourselves what would make us happy and what would feel good to us. And then we wonder why life feels so hard, so difficult, and unrewarding. So discovering what would make us happy can help us through any difficulty in life. It can help us through the quieter moments of our day. It can help us make larger, more significant decisions. It can help us in our work, especially if we look in our hearts and answer honestly. So what would make you happy? It's a simple question, but one with profound consequences. So asking and answering that question, then acting on it, is often our path. A path that will lead to the next step. A path that is in our best interests. We will be choosing our destiny, and the destiny we're choosing is joy. So what would make you happy? Ask yourself often. Think about your answer. You may well find that the answer is within reach. So gently come back up again. And we're going to let the legs come to straighten out. Now bring your hands behind you a little and maybe just lift your chest, your heart towards the ceiling. It might be nice to point and flex the feet. It might be nice to turn your head from one side to the other. Whatever feels nice for a little gentle movement there after the back bend. And then we're going to make our way straight into our second side. So that same sequence, you're going to take your left leg, step it over the side of your right leg. And again, maybe you bend the right knee, bring your heel in towards your bum, or maybe you leave that bottom leg straight. Either way is fine. Wrap your right arm around your left knee and your left hand's going to reach to the ground behind you. And you gently turn to twist to look over your left shoulder. So we'll be in our twist again for about 3 minutes. And again, you're finding your edge. You're looking to relax. So all up along the spine. Even though we're twisting, we're finding a softness there. And then looking for that stillness. And just as you're there, it might be nice to just cast your mind back on the day or maybe the week so far and see if you can bring to mind just one thing that made you smile. So one thing that made you smile or made you happy. And it doesn't have to be anything major. So often it's not. It's the little things that bring a smile to our lips. So when you found your one thing, just let your mind rest there, remembering what it was, remembering how you felt. If you find your mind wandering, just tuning back in with your breath again. Your breath is always there. You might notice where you feel the inhale. Do you feel your belly move, your chest move, just slightly? Can you slow the exhale a little? And turning your head back to center, and let your torso untwist once again as well. So we're going to come to that shoelace position again with the legs, which I know isn't accessible for everybody. So you're aiming to have the knees stacked on top of each other. If that's not comfortable, just let the bottom leg come out straight. So you're in a half shoelace, which is a perfectly good alternative. I happen to like shoelace because my hips are a bit mad. So I'm going to sit there in full shoelace. You're going to bring your right arm out to the side, turn the palm back, and then reach that hand up between your shoulder blades, wherever it happens to reach to. Your left hand creeps out towards the left, and then you lean towards your left. So your left ear falls towards your left shoulder, and this time the length is coming into the right side of your body. If you can, you're keeping both your sit bones rooted down on the ground. So that right sit bone that wants to lift up, you're keeping that one rooted back down again. You can have your eyes open or closed. So throughout the class, if it feels good, let the eyes close, especially if you feel anything distracting you. It can be nice to let the eyes close. And again, you're looking for your edge here. You don't ever want to go so far that you've screwed your face up into a funny shape, or you can't breathe. It might be uncomfortable. In fact, I know myself as I come through yin poses, they're not always comfortable or even enjoyable at the time. Definitely not. But it's when you come out of them afterwards that your hips, your shoulders, your spine can get this lovely feeling of release, sometimes even tingling or a rush. It's not exactly, but something along those lines. So if you're not enjoying it just at the moment, you're not the only one. So sorry about that, but it's not always enjoyable at the time. So just come back up when you're ready there, and we're going to stretch the hands away to the walls either side. That should be nice, I hope. And then coming into eagle arms. This time your right arm coming underneath your left. And again, you could be in a gentle hug pose if you prefer. If you like to, or when you're ready, you're going to start to curl forwards. Your elbows coming towards your knees or coming in front of your knees if they can. Again, it's not important where you actually come to. You're going to come to where your body allows. But what is important is we're trying to curl forwards again here. So you're rounding your spine once again. And you might feel a tug up between the shoulder blades or your upper arms. We're trying to get into the top part of the body here. You might feel it more in your hips or your lower back. It depends on where the tension is, where the tight areas are in your body. Try and take a few deep breaths here. See how long your next inhale can be. A nice full exhale. You can untangle the hands, bring the hands to the ground. Just take another breath or two there. So you're doing really, really well. And gently come back up. Again, try not to rush out of it. We're going to pause for a moment and untangle your legs. Really, really lovely. We're going to visit our butterfly pose once more. So again, I'd advise sitting up on something, a block or a blanket or a book. Bring the soles of the feet together once again, knees falling out wide. And then just for an alternative, if you like, you could let the feet come a little bit apart as I'm showing there. And that's only a suggestion if your hips are happy with that. You can have the feet together as well. And then when you're ready, just come to fold forwards once again. You can rest your hands onto your feet. You can even give your feet a little massage if they feel they might like that. And just invite a softness into everywhere now. If you need a little bit of movement, have a little movement. And then looking for that stillness once more. See if you can bring back to mind again that one thing that made you smile. And as you picture it, can you picture who or what was there? So maybe it was just you, maybe there was someone or something else. See if you can even picture the colours, the smells, any touch sensations that were there. So just trying to replay the moment in your mind, in your mind's eye. And gently come back up again. Lovely. So when you're ready, we'll just bring the knees back towards each other. Let your legs come out straight again, bringing your hands behind you. Lift your heart towards the ceiling. Again, have a little wriggle or a little movement if you need to. It's just a bit of a counter pose to that forward fold. So we've moved our spine in 5 of its different directions now. The last one we'd like to do is a couple of really lovely back bends. So they're my favorite gentle yin back bends. And they're exceptionally nice because we do spend a lot of our days folding forwards, not so much time back bending. So you're going to come to lie down on your back, and I'd suggest you're going to need either a block or a book or a bolster handy, and we're going to slide it underneath our sacrum. So I'll show that in just a moment. So as you come to lie down on your back, soles of your feet on the ground, there's a bend in your knees. Just pause for a moment And then lift your hips as high as you can. You might even need to come onto your tiptoes. And you're going to slide the bolster, if that suits you, underneath your sacrum. So the bony part right at the bottom of your back. So that your hips are lifted there. And again, you may not have a bolster at home. I know that. So it could be a couple of pillows or a couple of books with a cushion on top. Anything that just gives you that height and support. So there's a few options here. You can stay with your knees bent, soles of your feet on the ground. That's going to be the gentlest option, and with your arms resting by your sides. If you'd like to take it a little further, you can let your legs come out straight, and you feel that lovely opening into the front of your hips, maybe even into your belly. If you'd like to take it a little further again, you can stretch your arms up above your head, maybe take hold of either your wrists or take hold of your elbows with the opposite hand. So as with all of our poses, it's really what feels the right level for you. You can happily be there with your knees bent, your arms down by your sides, or you can happily be there with your legs out straight, your arms reached up above your head. And I'd really like everything to soften in this pose. You're being supported by the bolster or whatever it is you've got your hips lifted up onto, and you're letting everything release into the bolster, into the ground. See if you can see your belly moving with each breath. If you are holding onto your elbows or your wrists, maybe just change the cross of the arms. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment. I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in calm. Breathing out, smile. Present moment. Wonderful moment. And then bring your arms back down by your side if they weren't already. So to come back out, we're going to place the soles of the feet onto the ground. Just engage your core enough so you can lift your hips just enough to slide the bolster or books out from underneath and peel gently back down into the ground. And that should feel lovely to settle back into the ground. You can happily stay still, or if you like, just let the knees windshield wiper from side to side. Maybe hug your knees into your chest. So it's just a suggestion if you needed a little movement or a little counter pose. And we're going to do one lovely last final back bend here. So just come to roll onto your front. And we're coming into a Sphinx pose. So I'm going to start with my shoulders above my elbows and then walk the elbows forward just a little and pause there. See how that feels. If it's too much of a bend into your back, you can slide the arms further forwards or even come to lie all the way down on your belly. Rest your head on your hands. If you're okay to, we'll be there with the shoulders roughly above the elbows. Your feet can be maybe mat width apart from each other. And we'll start by letting the head hang downwards. You can let your shoulders go anywhere they want here. So we're not trying to keep anything engaged. Maybe you feel the length into the back of your neck there. And if that's too much for your head, with your head hanging forwards, feel free to lift it, or you could rest your head into your hands. And just check for any added tension here. Maybe notice your forehead is smooth. Maybe notice your teeth, your back teeth are a little apart from each other. Your jaw, your throat is relaxed. And again, let your shoulders soften. There's no tension there. Your belly is soft. It can rest into the ground. Notice your glutes, your buttocks are soft. If you're not sure, just tense them for a moment, then release. Even do that a couple of times, just so you know they've softened. And the same, your legs are heavy on the ground. They're just sinking into the ground. So we're in a relaxed Sphinx pose. We're looking to just feel something, hopefully into maybe around the small of the back, the lower back. So if you weren't feeling much into your lower back, an alternative is to bend your knees, bring your heels towards your bum. Maybe lift your chest a little higher. So it's a slightly more active Sphinx pose, but you're still relaxed here. So your belly still softened towards the ground. Your bum, your glutes are still soft. And your thighs are still heavy, sinking into the ground. When you're ready, we'll bring the legs gently back to the ground and come to lie all the way down. And you can make your hands into a little pillow. If you turn your head towards one side, and whichever side you've turned it, just slide that knee along the floor up towards your head, just to make it a gentle position. Soften into the ground. And from there, we're going to roll over onto our backs. And maybe give your knees just a little hug, just for a bit of counterbalance again after our back bending. If you like, you could lift your head towards your knees, or maybe just rock a little from side to side. Give yourself a lovely little thank you here. Thank you for everything your body has done so far, everything your mind has done so far. We're coming into Shavasana now. So if you have a blanket or anything cozy and warm to put over yourself, you're going to cover up with a blanket now. So it's just going to helps promote that feeling of relaxation. Your legs can be a little apart from each other. Maybe your arms come a little out to the sides, palms facing up, back of your neck nice and long, your head rested on the ground. Your breath softening. You might like to say to yourself, I am well, I am safe, I am loved, I am well, I am safe, I am loved. And you're going to bring your focus to your right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, the back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, side of the waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, ankle, top of the foot, sole of the foot, your right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. And onto the left side of your body, your left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, the back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, your upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, ankle, top of the foot, sole of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe, your whole right leg, your whole left leg, both legs together, your whole right arm, your whole left arm, both arms together, your whole torso, your whole face, your whole head, your whole body, your whole body, your whole body. Might turn your heads from side to side. Stretch your arms up over your head. And just slowly bend your knees. Make your way over to one side. And just rest there, curled on one side. And push yourself gently back up to any seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center. Really thank yourself for being here. Thanking each other. Thanking all the yogis. Namaste. Thank you.